Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. We have with us world-class trainer and mentor, Peter Fury. Peter, how are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Everything's okay.
It's good to hear from you, Peter, as always. First of all, I must follow up from the last time I saw you in the flesh. It was in Bolton, and thank you for the invitation down to the gym and really getting to see Team Fury at work. The ins and outs, the training, how you work with the fighters, the effort the fighters put into training camp. It's one thing seeing it on TV, but another thing seeing it in the flesh. Could you speak about that for a moment?
Yeah, it's hard training. I think it's good for people like yourself to see it, because you can look at it and being actually physically there and seeing it unfold is you can see that they train hard. And it's not just my fighters, but boxing is a hard business, so all the fighters need maximum credit because they all train very hard. They got to train hard to put on good performances. So when you see good performances in the ring, you see the fighters in condition. That's not just part of the course. These guys and women, they train very hard to achieve that.
So, did you manage to get to see the 2-part doc we did or 3-part doc we did on the actual Team Fury?
I can't say I've seen some of it, but obviously I've been very busy getting Hughie ready and then my fighters for this training camp, so I've not seen all of it.
A lot of the feedback was very positive about in terms of people being able to see another side of the training camp and seeing Hughie and the rest of the team working together, the personalities, the camaraderie, how you work as a trainer, how the whole Team Fury work together. It is very interesting to see. Now, let's move on. Hughie Fury's got the fight against Sam Sexton. A lot of people believe Hughie just has to turn up and win. What's your thoughts as trainer coming into this particular fight?
Well, it's definitely not a case of that. When you've got an heavyweight who's trained for 8 to 10 weeks, solid, he's got a very good trainer in Graham Everett as well. So they'll have studied Hughie, they've had a good look at it and everything else. So it's not these type of fights are not walks in the park. So I disagree with that. I think it's a good solid fight, and hopefully it'll be a good fight on the night.
The last time people reference Hughie Fury is going back to the Joseph Parker fight. Clearly, the feeling from the Fury camp is that Hughie won the fight. He's an uncrowned champion. You told me that the last time before, and it was because of boxing politics, that things didn't go your way. Moving away from that, and now coming into this fight against Sam Sexton, what have you done in training camp? I mean, I've seen some of the things you've been doing. What are the things you've instilled in Hughie this time round that would make him a better fighter for the Sam Sexton fight?
He's improving all the time. It's like I said, for his years, he's years ahead of his time, because he's already he's definitely in the top 5 in the world. So this is at just 23 years of age. He's fought for a world title, got a political decision against him, and he's a serious threat. Let's not forget, I've already spoke to somebody about this already. When you're 6'6", you're not a small heavyweight. You're not. It's like a Jack Russell against an Alsatian dog. The Jack Russell at 6 months old is fully developed. The Alsatian takes nearly 3 years old to develop. It's similar. It's a very, very similar case in humans. Small heavyweights, small guys develop a lot quicker. A guy at 6'6", they don't really start coming into their manhood properly until 26 onwards. Hughie's a big, major threat in world heavyweight boxing at just 23 years of age. So that gives you an idea how far ahead he is. So he's improving all the time, and Hughie's got a massive future. He's going to be a phenomenal heavyweight in the coming years.
When you look at what Joshua did with Parker and then look at what Hughie did with Parker, do you take that away with any confidence, saying, well, I was telling you he's this good a heavyweight, and this is what the premier heavyweight in the world, according to many, did with Parker, and this is what my son did with Parker? Do you look at that and take anything away from it, or it's just, that's what Joshua did, this is what my son does?
Look, there's nothing to hype about it. I always said Parker would give Joshua problems. Parker's a world level fighter. He's a world champion, so he's a good fighter. And Team Joshua had to take him very seriously, which they did. And the referee never held Parker's cause on the inside because he kept splitting them up every 2 seconds, so it hindered Parker's performance. And I had it a lot closer anyway than what they did. So so I think you can categorise it like this. Hughie took Parker's best shots, never even moved, did he? So he's not looking at a young heavyweight that's blowed up in there, couldn't do the rounds, couldn't take a shot, everything else. And the skill set of him is second to none. Of course he could have done more, he's still developing. But to say where he's at and the things he can do and make world champions look ordinary. So that's the level he's at. So it's all right talking about it. Action speaks louder than words. And I fully believe Hughie's already proved his point. At just 23 years of age, he's flew onto the world scene. So he might have had the decision go against him, but he's gained a lot of world recognition in world boxing because he's a serious player in it.
What does Sam Sexton bring to the table in terms of danger, in terms of style? And do you have any concerns that Hughie Fury will be able to perform on the night?
Well, why have I got any concerns when Hughie's had, I think, 22 or 3 professional fights? Mm-hmm. Don't forget, at 19, he fought Andrei Rudenko, who was 25-1, with 17 knockouts. So why have I got concerns with anything? It's ridiculous. Look, Hughie loves to fight. He can't wait until the bell goes and it happens. Hughie could be fighting AJ and Wilder together. He'd still be in the same frame of mind. So these are questions which are meaningless to me. We're into training camps, we're into world level boxing, so it'll be a good fight, and we're looking forward to it. This is the best time about it now, because the camps are done. It's a case now of relaxing, easing down, and getting ready for fight night. The rest of it, look, everybody's got an opinion, and they're welcome to it. But we're involved in the boxing, so we're just getting on with it and doing the job, and I'm giving Sam Sexton maximum respect, because any man at 6'3" and can box as well is dangerous. So they're all dangerous. The answer to the question is, he's treated the same as anybody else. Nothing is taken lightly.
When I look at what Hughie was, or how he was when he was getting into camp in the beginning, obviously when I came to see you guys, to where he is now, can you give me an idea of where Hughie Fury is in terms of where you want him to be in the beginning and where he is now in terms of progression over the time in the training camp?
He's just practicing many things. He's there, all of his fluidity is there, his timing's there, his punch selection's there. So, it's all good. So he's ready. He's 100% ready. He isn't like 75%. He's 100% ready. There's no excuses. I don't go into fight with any excuse. He's coming. I believe he's a force to be reckoned with in world boxing, and he will prove that.
Okay, so let's assume, or let's talk. If Hughie should win the British title, of course, in a trainer's mind, you believe you will win the title. Should Hughie be successful on the night on May the 12th? There were people that suggested the name Joe Joyce. Now, I've heard you say, look, we're not interested in Joe Joyce. We want to move forward. Hughie's been a pro a lot longer. We've got other plans. Now, that's been interpreted by some outlets as Hughie Fury and Peter Fury are ducking Joe Joyce. What is your take on that, to clear that up?
Look, we know Joe Joyce very well. He's a phenomenal fighter. We know his team, and the very best of luck to him. It was a magnificent thing he done the other day, and he's a serious challenge to anybody. But we're looking at another path. We're going forward. We're not looking at somebody who's had 3 or 4 fights. We're not looking at a Commonwealth belt. We're looking at more serious things for Hughie. So where our aim is for Hughie is to get him back into the mandatory position as soon as possible. We're looking for serious fights for him.
When you say serious fights, does that mean potentially, should you win the British title, would you look at a European title shot? Would you see that as more important than a Commonwealth title shot?
Just depends where the ranking's going to be, and we'll look at all of that. It just depends what we can gain from it and what rankings are to be gained from where. We've got a plan for Hughie, and we're having to look at it's more or less the ranking positions, what we're looking at more than anything else.
Ultimately, there's 3 champions at the moment. There's Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Manuel Shah, the WBA regular champion. If you were going to go down any route in what you'd like to see as trainer, and obviously father of Hughie, which champion would you prefer him to face?
It doesn't really matter, it's just getting him there. It's all right. I'm not into, wishful thinking, It's not easy. You can't click your fingers and make these fights. Somebody like Hughie, I can assure you, nobody's interested in fighting Hughie there, pro. And, you can't blame him. Hughie's got to get himself back into position. Who wants to be number 1 and 2 and be a world champion and fight a guy who's not high enough ranked? So, there's got to be something in it for them. Nobody wants to take a backward step, do they? So, and neither do we. So basically, I can understand where they're coming from. It's business. So we've got to get Hughie in the right positions and basically take who we can get. So, but if anybody listening, Manuel Shah, Povetkin, any of them really, that's not, the fringe world champions, Hughie will take them in a heartbeat. If he can make any one of them fights, we'd take it.
So you're talking Povetkin and Shah, those are the guys you'd be interested in taking?
We take that tomorrow. We're not really interested. We're not looking for them. But if that come up, get in touch with Hennessy Sports because we take them fight.
Okay, that sounds very interesting there. On the weekend, as you know, David Haye made the comeback against Bellew to seek revenge. It didn't go Haye's way. Your thoughts?
Well, that's not taking anything away from Bellew's performance. He did what he had to do. He put some very good shots together, and he did what he had to do, and he did a lot more convincing job this time than the last time, which he said exactly what he'd do, and he's done that. So he said what was going to happen on the tin, and he achieved it, so maximum credit. David Haye, you could clearly see he had problems with the legs. He couldn't get on his toes. He was jumping. If you look at him, he was stepping back on his heels all the time. When he was trying to get out of the way of Bellew, he was more or less jogging backwards on his heels. There was no flexibility in his ankles whatsoever, and he was leaning on the front foot. Excuse me. So you could clearly see, although he wasn't injured, quite clearly, either it was playing on his mind, he was weary of it. But look, when you are fighting on your heels, you've got no timing. The rhythm's gone, and it looked very disjointed in his performance. So he wanted to do well. Look, it's like the timing of a car. If it's missing, it'll run down the road at 40, 50 miles an hour. It won't exactly have the power, it won't have full force, will it? Because something's wrong with it. So David Haye had something wrong from the bottom end going up. But when something's wrong, it's all wrong. So that's what I've seen of the fight. You can clearly see the movement in his legs and the way he was standing and the way he was moving back and trying to move out the way. It was very hard work for him. You could see there was no rhythm there in his movements. He was having to basically semi-jog backwards. So, when you look at how he was in the past with his footwork and everything else, he was a class act. So clearly he was hindered. So that ultimately showed in his performance, and that's why he got clipped the way he did.
Dillian Whyte's performance against Lucas Brown, it was something that I think you kind of saw what was going to happen there. The question really I want to ask you is, Dillian Whyte put on a good performance against Lucas Brown. The focus point here is that now Dillian Whyte may have to fight Luis Ortiz or Kubrat Pulev instead, and he was promised it was a WBC final eliminator against Big Daddy Brown. If you were put in a position like that, where he was offered a final eliminator, fought for a final eliminator, and then found that there was another final eliminator, how would you and Team Fury deal with that?
Well, I'm not the governing body, so it's whatever they say. You can't deal with that, can you? You've just got to do what's on the table. If it's a final eliminator and all of a sudden it gets changed, and they give reasons for it, then probably there's not a lot can be done about it. He's just got to take the fight, hasn't he?
Is that not a contractual I mean, I don't know. Is that a contractual thing, Peter, or is that is that something in the small print? If you beat this person, possibly we may change it to be this afterwards in the fine print?
I suppose it all depends who's got the world title, what moves they're going to do, and everything else. So there's a lot, I suppose, it can change. I've heard of it changing in the past. So, this is just the way it is. So I don't think there's a lot can be done about it.
Okay, Channel 5, the deal, obviously now with Mick Hennessy and the British title being on television for everybody to see. What are your thoughts about that and how it impacts on Team Fury?
What impacts on Team Fury?
Well, obviously being on Channel 5, the British heavyweight title's being shown. It's a on British TV.
I think it's great for the British title to be shown on Channel 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good domestic British title fight, and it's nice for the public to be able to watch it for free, on terrestrial TV. So it's fantastic for boxing. Again, it gets to all the home viewers, who can just watch it, turn on Channel 5 and watch it with no messing around. So it's good. It's good for all the channels, ITV, Sky Sports. There's plenty of channels out there. There's BT, all of them. It's good for boxing. Many channels, the better. It's
another testament to Mick Hennessy and your loyalty to Mick, to sticking with him, that he now has delivered again a fight on British television.
Look, in boxing, people can be bought for money. Let's face it. Loyalty is a thing of the past. It's like the Bible. They want to rewrite it, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
The world's gone mad. But we've got our own particular values, and we stand by it, and we move forward. So I'm happy with the team we got. I'm happy with everything that's going on. We just got to get to work. I'm not I don't even want to get into politics. Boxing politics, you just want to go in the toilet and vomit all over it. Yeah?
Yes.
Because that's what I see. So basically, I want to enjoy my boxing, enjoy the talent coming through, enjoy my fighters' company, and just go about the job properly. Don't want to get bogged down with no bullshit. I'm not interested.
Absolutely, and I respect that as well. Peter, let's talk a bit about the other fighters in Team Fury. Savannah Marshall now back with Team Fury now, and no longer with Mayweather Promotions. Her fight coming up. Talk to us about a little bit about Savannah Marshall and what we can expect to see from her.
Yeah, Savannah Marshall, she's a major talent. I think she's going to raise a lot of eyebrows in world boxing. She's definitely a major talent. She's a good puncher as well, and she's got an exciting box punch style. So I'm very interested in her career moving forward. She's dedicated. She's a very, very good trainer. She responds from the training well. She's a good listener. She's got all the attributes to go a long way. She'll make it. I've absolutely no doubt she's going to make it onto the big stage, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but you're definitely looking at a world champion in the making in Savannah Marshall for sure.
Are you in a rush to make her a world champion like so many other promoters are doing, or are you going to take your time with Savannah?
I don't think it really matters. I think women's boxing is different to men's. I think when a woman's had 4 or 5 fights, it's different, isn't it?
Mm.
It's a different setup. So, is she ready for world titles? For what I can say out there in her division, I'd say definitely yes. So, we're just taking every fight as it comes. She's having a second fight. She's been out quite a while through politics again over in America, so she didn't box for quite a bit. But she's back. She's back. She's having a fight here. So she's just going to be kept busy. We'll keep her busy this year and see whatever comes up. And if she gets offered a world title, then it'll be a joint decision. We'll have a look at it. But certainly wouldn't outrule it and say 2 years away. Maybe she's a lot sooner than that.
Okay, that's great news. Peter McDonough, of course, he's the band's been lifted and he's back, which is great to hear. Talk to us about him and your plans for him.
Peter McDonough, he's what he is. He's a warhorse. He likes to get stuck in. He's got a chin like a piece of granite. He's tough as teak, and he's super fit. And he can cause anybody problems. Peter McDonough, what did I say the other day? He's like an aged wine.
Yes.
The older it gets, the better it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of them. He totally believes in himself, which is very good. He's got a lot of confidence. He's been in a lot of fights. He's very vastly experienced. And you can see it as well when he spars like young guys who's had 5, 6, 10 fights. You know, you can just see the gulf in experience. So he's a threat. I'd like to see Peter fight after this for a European title or something like that, and see if we can get him a good title in his next fight.
Wow.
That's the plan for Peter McDonough.
That sounds exciting. I know that Ty Mitchell was in camp training. How's he looking?
Well, Ty Mitchell, I know he was hoping to get his licence back. He's had a few little setbacks, so there's no point training in a training camp flat out when you're not fighting.
Right.
So I think the thing with Ty Mitchell, I know he's got a board hearing coming up very soon, so he's going to see the outcome of that, and you know, God willing, that goes well for him, and he can get back and do what he does best. He's got a young child there. You know, he's got a family to keep. He's a responsible young man now. You know, things change. You know, he's been out of prison God knows how many years. So, you know, it's all about being rehabilitated. You know, you can't hold things against people for the rest of their life. It's not the way the system works. So he needs an opportunity. And you know, Ty Mitchell is a young man that wants to get on, look after his family, and earn a living like anybody else. He should not be deprived of that, especially when he's served his time, done his time, done all of his rehabilitation. He's been out now 4 years plus. So, you know, hopefully, you know, the Boxing Board of Control sees sense here and give this young man his licence, because by depriving him of a living, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Send him on the streets to get in trouble?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
You know, Ty Mitchell, he's a boxer. He can't put his hand to anything else. So it's either going back on the streets or fighting and earning a respectable living. So I think, looking at it the way I see it, you know, this young man needs to box.
He does. He's very talented as well. Very, very talented.
I think he's a major talent for the light heavyweight division. He's another world-class operator. So it'd be fantastic for this young man to get his licence back, because the boxing public's being deprived of him as well, because he's charismatic and he can fight.
Absolutely.
You know, so for a light heavyweight, southpaw as well, he's dangerous. So he can do a lot for British boxing.
Let's talk a bit about Arfan Iqbal, another very talented fighter.
Yep.
Talk to us about Arfan Iqbal.
Arfan Iqbal is dangerous. He's got TNT, dynamite, wrote all over him. You know, he's super explosive, and he's powerful, he's quick, and he's got boxing skills as well. He's a lot more awkward than people think he is. He's a slickster, you know, explosive powerhouse. That's what he is. And you know, on fight night when that bell comes, he's coming to rip your head off. You know, he's not one of these guys. He's a little bit of like a Mike Tyson approach to him in his mentality. So you can see, you know, he's dangerous. There's not somebody to hold your feet with. He definitely causes you a massive problem. So I think Arfan Iqbal, if his fitness is there and he's in great condition, you know, he's a serious force to be reckoned with in the cruiserweight division.
Fantastic. Your thoughts on this weekend's big fight between Lomachenko and Linares?
Well, you got two very, very top technical boxers. We're in for a good fight with this one.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I just see Lomachenko coming out of it. I think he's a fresher. I just see this being... I think there's only going to be one winner, but I think we're going to see Lomachenko stretched in this fight more than what he's been in his previous fights.
Absolutely. Any thoughts? There's two other big fights coming up soon. Saunders is fighting against Martin Murray. Any thoughts on that?
Sure, it'll be a good fight. Martin Murray comes for a fight. You know, he's fully in condition. He's a very nice man as well, a real professional. So I've met him once or twice. A real gentleman he is. So I'm sure he's going to put a good fight up. Billy Joe's a very good boxer, though. He's another slickster, southpaw, very, very awkward. So Martin Murray's got his work cut out.
And Lee Selby against Josh Warrington, a fight that seems to be under the radar at the moment.
I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. This is a good fight. I just see Selby, though. He is an elite boxer. So I favour Selby in it. But I think it's going to be a good fight as well because the other lad is very up for it. So I see that being a good fight as well, but I see Selby coming through it.
Is there anybody in world boxing at the moment that you actually would pay to sit down and watch, Peter?
I watch them all. I'm a boxing fan, so I like it. Whether they're just starting out, you know, whether they're not that good. I see the mistakes they do, and I don't know. I look at things in a funny way. I can look at all fights and respect it, and then I see some of the corner work, and I think to myself, you know, Jesus Christ, you know, they don't know their ass from their elbow. Some of them, you know, when they guiding these fighters, things they say to them in the corner, and various stuff like that. Not all of them. Don't get me wrong. We've got some very elite trainers, very good people.
Yes.
But it's a mixture of anything. I can look at fights. I look what the corner's saying. I see what the fighters do, the mistakes they make, and I think, well, how come they're not spotting that? Why is he doing that in there? So it's just loads of things that I look at, I suppose. And when I'm looking at a fight, I look at it differently because I just look at it and I dissect things, and I seem to just know in my mind fighters that's going to make it, the fighters that's not.
Recently, I spoke to James Ali Bashir, and he was full of praise of you in terms of your boxing knowledge and the way you approach the sport. He says, there's very few people in this world that I would actually want to work with in boxing. But Peter Fury, he's in my top three. And he mentioned yourself, Abel Sanchez, I think Spence's trainer, Derek, I can't remember Derek's last name now. But Derek James, that's it, Derek James, and your name was in there as well. But he said Peter Fury is one of the top trainers in the world, and he had a lot of respect for you.
Well, that's very kind of Ali Bashir. I really appreciate it. I've met him on a few occasions, and he's a very, very nice man, and he's obviously very knowledgeable himself. He's been in boxing probably similar time I've been alive, so he's vastly experienced. So you know, it's a high compliment coming from a man like him, so it's much appreciated. He's worked with some great fighters over the years himself, so like I said, you know, there's some great trainers up and down the world, and that's why we're seeing the level of fighting coming through that we're seeing, you know, because there is some great tacticians up and down the world today, and he's one of them.
Final question, Peter, and it's really to do with social media. Do you think social media is doing harm to boxing, or do you think it's brought more benefit and exposure to boxing?
I think it's brought plenty of benefits. You know, look, forget the downsides on social media. You get some people comment, and you know what's chat comment regards a sensible comment. You know when somebody's being sarcastic with a comment or when they're not. That's for somebody who is aimed at to read it and dissect it and put all the waste to one side. And but I think it's very, very good for boxing. I think the social media, the exposure they give, the video footage, you know, of all this. And, you know, I will say this. When Team Fury started out all these years ago and we started doing the videos, I think we was one of the first to do them.
Yes.
There wasn't many people doing them in the training camp.
Yep.
So we opened up a lot of scope, and now you're seeing a lot of it up and down. Now it's normal. So it's, you know, it's been good for the boxing. So all these new barriers that's been opened up, and plus many others, what other people do that other people don't do. I think it's a great idea, and I think the good in everything outweighs the bad.
Yep, I will say this point. It's great to see Hughie Fury now getting the recognition I think he deserves as a talented boxer, and you can see over social media, particularly on YouTube, you'll see now Hughie Fury getting lots of attention. Before, you know, maybe 8,000-10,000. Now he's got, I mean, the last interview we did with him got almost 150,000 views. So that's saying that Hughie's profile is certainly growing, and it's a credit to Hennessy Sports, yourself, for allowing the access for media to come in and to do the interviews. So again, we're very thankful, BWTM Sports, and I'm sure on behalf of the media we are thankful, Peter.
And let me just say this regards you about ducking people. Povetkin we'd like, Char we'd like, Ortiz we'd like, what's the other one, Pulev, we'd like that as well. So there's 4 right there that we'd be very interested in.
Thank you for that, Peter. Appreciate that. So that clears up the old ducking thing. You know, I didn't think he was ducking at all, but you know, people like to.
If I had to duck my fighter wouldn't be boxing with me anymore.
Right, I understand
I'm
that.
I'm not that type of a character. I haven't been that type of character in my life. Never mind me, my son, who's a lot better boxer than I'd never know how to be. So that's definitely not the case. He's been born and bred to fight since he was 6 years of age.
So no.
There's none of that here.
No swerving, no ducking, no diving.
If fights make sense for us, these are the type of fights that would make us lift up for Hughie. These are the type of fights we're hopefully going to aim for in the near future.
Okay. Peter Fury, as always, thank you for talking to BWTM Sports. We really do appreciate you. Do you have a message to people for the fight, and just a general message to people listening to this particular show?
Yeah, enjoy the boxing, and boxing is a lovely sport, and we're all the same anyway. We're all human, and everybody's trying to do the best they can. So enjoy the fight, and everybody involved in boxing, not just my team. Anybody who steps in the ring, they need maximum respect for what they do. You know, it's hard work. It's not an easy sport. It's a one-on-one, and people, I'm sure, respect that.
Peter Fury, as always, thank you for talking to BWTM Sports.
And you, Ingram, all the best.
Thank you, Peter. Take care.